Let's Get Down to Business is presented by Bravo, the marketing arm of Ash Brokerage Corporation, the practice enhancement company. All this week, it's long-term care linked products, and on today's show, the evolution of LTC linked products. And with me today, nationally recognized LTC linked product expert, Bradley Gayhart. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Well, welcome to day 2, Bradley. Yeah. I mean, hey, we are here. Bradley's going to be with us all this week. We're in our whole month. We're talking about long-term care. This whole 3 weeks in November. But we're talking this week on long-term care linked products, which, by the way, if you missed yesterday's show, I just want you to hop out to downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com. I want you to see that show because we kind of outlined the whole week, and it kind of gives you a kind of a stepping stone. You say, oh, I like that. I want to talk about that. Things that you have answers or questions for, we have answers for. And remember, we're handing out our manual all this week on long-term care, which includes linked products and a whole dossier on that. When we're talking about the evolution of something, man, this has changed. I remember back in the day, Lincoln National was it. There was nobody else on the face of the earth, not annuities especially. It was them or no one. And MoneyGuard ruled the market, right? I mean, but things have changed.
Definitely.
Now, we were talking about the evolution of this. I'm looking, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. We touched on small guaranteed death benefits, right? And how that's becoming a play. There's kind of a value here. But I wanted to actually get back into our big thing of leverage because we have people watching our show that are registered reps that really are more asset-based. They're more leverage-based. They understand economic power of a product. Talk a little about this leverage because I want them to actually understand this, and I want to walk through it slowly so we really hammer it.
No, definitely. Well, you know, when we talk about leverage for long-term care and linked benefit as an asset, what we're really talking about here, Steve, is the ability to take a single premium move and leverage that out to fund a long-term care event down the road. So we start with, say, $100,000, and that's the real key. $100,000 seems to be the normal value that gets put into one of these contracts. So let's say if we started out with that $100,000 and we were to get 3% in a tax-free environment on those dollars.
The crediting interest rate.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's say 3% outside of the contract, just in cash in an asset. It would take 24 years to turn that $100,000 into $200,000. In a long-term care product or in a linked benefit product, more importantly, we could take that same $100,000 for, say, a 60-year-old individual and turn it into $450,000.
Okay, let's just go down there. What's my basis cost, though? If I'm getting 3% credited to the contract, what's the morbidity cost of my LTC?
Well, the 3% was hypothetical if you left it outside of the contract. That's if you had it in a CD or a tax-free muni bond, just in comparison. So we're going to take that $100,000, we're going to put it into a linked benefit contract. We're going to get $450. We're going to get $150,000 for a death benefit. We're going to get long-term care paid at $6,200 a month for 6 years. That's the real crux of the linked benefit, not the cash buildup inside of it. So there is a stated guaranteed rate at which you're credited inside that contract, but it's really not relevant to what we're trying to do here. We're trying to really
But what if, just the what if, because I know the guys are watching this and they're thinking the same way I'm thinking, which is, okay, but if I never used it at all, what was that rate?
Well, yeah, if you never used it at all, you know, your internal interest rate is going to be somewhere around 7%, depending on your holding period. And that's going to pay out for the death benefit. If you used it for long-term care, it depends on when you have a long-term care.
But if I didn't use it and I just wanted to cash out, am I making 50 basis points after it's all said and done?
You're going to get your premium back that you put in originally.
Okay, so I have to be committed. This is what I'm trying to make sure everybody understands. This is an asset. It has leverage, but we're not. If you're really looking for internal rate of return on cash only, because you're never going to use these benefits, this is probably not the way to go.
If you're going to pull your cash out 30 years from today, this is definitely not the way to go.
So we're looking for this. If you hold on and you never use it, your death benefit's going to pay for all this, and it's going to be great.
Absolutely.
All right, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I just want to make sure people understand. We want to make sure we go full disclosure, and everybody, all the advisors, especially our registered reps who are not used to playing in our sandbox, are happy with how we're explaining it. Now let's talk about these guaranteed premiums. Now, I love that word. I love the G word. I'm assuming you're talking about contractual guarantees, not current company practice, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I notice you have several ways to pay this. Now, You said you see a lot of 100,000 single deposit. Is single deposit one of the more popular?
It was. However, over the last 3 to 5 years, what's been interesting with these products are the evolution. The evolution of a 3-pay, a 5-pay, a 7-pay, a 10-pay. More importantly, there's a company out there that you can do anywhere between a 10 and a 20-year pay. And
wow.
also, there's a product that has a whole life pay. Since it's a life insurance contract, and depending on the state that you're in, it has a guaranteed premium. So you can actually put something in somebody's portfolio as an asset that builds up cash value and has a guaranteed interest rate and is going to leverage dollars for long-term care.
Are there any value in discounting at all for a single pay versus a life pay?
Definitely. You're always going to get the best leverage off a single pay.
Okay, so that's still the number one way to look at it. If you got money saved, especially today's environment, interest rate environment, maybe you might as well just put it over there because you're really not getting anything in the bank either.
Definitely.
All right. I like it. So, but I'm sorry to just touch on this because that might be a little bit newbie. I have a whole life. I mean, a participating contract.
Yes.
Dividends.
Yes. Absolutely.
And they pay an LTC coverage. How is that? Is there pretty good leverage for continual pay like that?
Absolutely. You can get the same leverage that you get on the single premium contract. If you're willing to pay that premium over the lifetime, you can get the same leverage. And it's day one, dollar one. So you have the full death benefit day one, dollar one. So if you have a shorter time horizon in your mindset or in your estimation, it might be worth it to do a whole life pay as opposed to a single pay solution.
Well, is the dividend large enough to maybe pick up my morbidity costs inside, or is it still that's a little?
It's a little iffy. It would depend on which carrier we went to, but and your age.
A lot of carriers in this space?
Yeah, there's about 5.
Wow, boy, we might have to pick this up on another day. I'd like to hear a little explanation on that. When we come back from the break, we're going to discuss the economic leverage of LTC linked products and the major role it plays in extended care during retirement. And don't forget, you can request your own long-term care manual right from Backroom Technician on our site, downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com, or just sign up for your own 30-day free trial offer at Backroom Technician at brtnow.com/trialsignup.aspx. We'll be right back with more from Bradley Gayhart right after the break. Back in the day, life insurance professionals were called field underwriters. Then, carriers trained their field force in the basics of life insurance underwriting. Today, the insurance industry doesn't educate the agent population as they once did. But now you can have the Informed Risk Guide at your fingertips so you can illustrate a reasonable rate class for your life insurance prospects. Just request your copy of the Informed Risk Guide at downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com. It's free from Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company. Well, welcome back. I'm Steve Savant with Bradley Gayhart. And remember, you can watch all our episodes of Let's Get Down to Business, including my weekly consumer show, Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game, at ashbrokerage.com. And just click on the show logo and it'll take you right out to our homepage. And just a heads up, before moving forward with any of the ideas you hear on our show, always consult your tax advisor, your legal counsel, as well as your broker-dealer compliance officer. Well, let's get down to business. We're talking about this whole idea, this leverage of LTC, which I really like. I mean, this kind of gives you the kind of protection. If I don't use it, I don't lose it. I love all those kind of ideas. I have to say that first segment, I'd really like to see what the participating whole life contracts with LTCI. I'd like to see that personally for myself. I might have to do a whole show on that alone. Sounds like how many players? 5, 6?
Yeah. 5.
Yeah, that's great. Let's talk about this thing of liquid investment, because I think you told me, and I thought maybe I had to have heard Bradley wrong here, because you said, like you were using the example of, I think it was MoneyGuard. Okay, so I'm 5 years into this. I have, for whatever reason, buyer's remorse, no surrender charges. Your money that you put in is your money back.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
You can take your dollars back after the 5th year. You can take that 100,000. And you could put it back in the CD, back in the municipal bonds, back in an annuity, however you wish to invest it. But it is somewhat of a liquid investment where it does allow for liquidity in the event that you just want to get rid of the policy.
Now these are single individual issued policies by MoneyGuard, right? They're not. There's no second to die.
MoneyGuard's a single. State Life is a second to die. Okay. So that's a shared pool where husband and wife can be on the same contract and borrow.
Oh, I love that. And they could be on the same contract and discount for having 2-on-1?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, it's not so much a discount, but either individual can actually reach into the pool and pull benefit off of it.
If one doesn't spend down their benefits, could the other one
Use
any
100% of
accumulation?
them.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, I
absolutely.
love that. See, to me, that's leverage. If you're looking at this, think of this from a mechanical point of view. We're all living longer. Medical advances have been huge. The baby boomer population, especially our female baby boomers, are going to all be into their 90s based on the trends we're seeing now. The mortality revolution is on, but it's affecting morbidity products. And what's going to happen is, right now we're talking about somewhere about 70% people actually have some kind of long-term care event in their life. I think that number is going to go way higher because we're going to be living longer. So everybody, in fact, I'm doing this myself. Just a little side note for my viewers. I'm looking for my last home, my retirement home. Single story, no stairs, easy access, no maintenance. I'm starting to already think in the terms of, oh, if I redo the bathroom, should I just put the walk-in right now and get it done with?
Yeah.
You see, we're already thinking, anticipating. I think we're going to need these. And this is one of the ways where guys say, I just don't want to buy a long-term care policy standalone. So let's talk about this because to me, this is the alternative that a lot of people are looking at.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's a growing space in the market. A lot more folks are running to the linked benefit because of the value that it brings.
Now you said one thing, and in curiosity, I'm sorry, I ran rampant with this in my head, and I wish I could have followed it up at the time, but I was trying to think how to ask it. Now I know how to do this. You were talking about annuity products that have linked benefits, that have income riders. Talk about why is that such a hedge or a leverage on your income?
Well, the neat thing there is if you do have a long-term care event and can trigger, you can potentially increase that income by 2 times, 3 times I've seen on some contracts. And the beauty of those annuity contracts is, let's say you're uninsurable. Currently, it's very difficult to get underwritten for these linked benefit products and traditional long-term care products. So let's say you have $100,000 or $200,000 that's sitting over an annuity. You can pull that over, put it in an annuity contract that has a guaranteed income base. The guaranteed income is spinning off during retirement and helping make sure you don't ever run out of money. But more importantly, if you do have a long-term care event, it might double or triple that income over the lifetime of the contract, and the long-term care portion of that contract isn't underwritten. So even though you're not able to qualify for a traditional type policy, now you have leverage for long-term care down the road.
Okay, just let me make sure I understood you, Bradley, because this is a huge event here, what you're just saying. So if you could be declinable from a life insurance point of view, and even LTC, a standalone contract, morbidity, you couldn't pass underwriting. You could use this annuity with this benefit, and with the income rider, right, and the LTC benefit, this could be a huge hedge. And leverage, I like that.
Absolutely.
Now, do you see people looking at this then? I mean, as far as...
more commonly now, the word's getting out that these things are available out there. A lot of folks like them because they're an asset. So it's an asset they have that's on their balance sheet.
If they don't use it?
It passes. It passes to an heir. They could take the money out of the contract if they need a single asset to go purchase that home that you were talking about a few seconds ago. But more importantly, this is an asset they have that does extend some leverage if they were to ever have that long-term care event.
And again, if they use the income for income, that's taxable. That's ordinary income tax.
Yeah.
But if they're using at income for the long-term care claim,
due to the Pension Protection Act, it comes out tax-free.
Okay, well, now I'm starting to think, well, I got an annuity here now that has 2 distribution taxable event issues. One is ordinary income tax on income only. The other one is looking at the reimbursement, because most of these are all, there's nobody doing indemnification anymore, right?
Well, not on the linked annuity contracts.
So it's mostly reimbursement. When that money comes out of my annuity to pay direct dollar for dollar reimbursement for my LTC event, right?
Tax-free.
Tax-free. See, to me, that's why I love the leverage and the hedging position that this could bring for clients, especially if we have clients that are suffering with some kind of substandard malady, something that would really kick them out, knock them out from a traditional underwriting point of view.
Absolutely.
That, to me, is huge. Well, that's our show for today. Remember, you can watch all my online insurance commentary, my advisor blogs, my articles on Producer's Web, as well as my answers to consumer questions on the Insurance Library. And don't forget, you can view all our past episodes on our on-demand section located at downtobusiness.ashbrokers.com. Don't forget, you can follow me also on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or just email me, steve.savant@ashbrokers.com. And remember, you could be wiser as an Ash Brokerage advisor. See you tomorrow.